While the presence of drones in the sky has become a defining characteristic of this war, ground-based autonomous or semi-autonomous platforms represent an emerging frontier. Russia's deployment of systems like the Depesha and Krot UGVs reflects a calculated attempt to test new forms of unmanned warfare, shifting some of the battlefield risks away from human soldiers and onto disposable machines. Let's explore the fascinating and potentially perilous ways robots will reshape the future of war. In the latest twist to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, the battlefield has witnessed the emergence of a chilling new weapon. It is kamikaze ground robots. These remotely operated unmanned ground vehicles, reportedly loaded with TM-62 anti-tank mines, have been seen rolling into Ukrainian territory as part of Russia's increasingly tech-driven offensive strategies. The revelation, detailed in a recent report by Army Recognition, offers a glimpse into how modern warfare continues to evolve in deadly and unexpected ways. Originally, these UGVs were designed for tasks such as supply delivery and medical evacuation. However, the realities of the battlefield have pushed engineers and commanders alike to explore alternative uses. In their current form, these robots are stripped of non-essential equipment, loaded with explosives, and driven remotely into enemy lines or toward fortified positions. The Russian government's interest in scaling up these robotic systems became even more apparent on April 8, 2025. On this date, Russia's first Deputy Prime Minister, Andrei Belousov, announced a formal plan to significantly increase the production and supply of ground drones to support the Russian armed forces. The announcement marked a strategic endorsement of these systems, validating their role on the battlefield and underscoring their growing importance in Russia's war doctrine. Belousov's statement didn't come out of nowhere. Throughout March and April, the Russian Ministry of Defense released a series of dramatic combat footage showing UGVs in action. These videos showcased the destructive capability of ground drones packed with TM-62 mines, successfully targeting Ukrainian trenches, vehicles, and fortified positions. The footage served as a powerful propaganda tool, but also as battlefield evidence of how lethal these machines can be when deployed effectively. The timing of this public campaign and the production announcement suggests that Russia is preparing to integrate these robots more broadly, not just as isolated tactical experiments, but as a standardized component of offensive operations. Ukraine, on the other side, has previously encountered similar tactics from Russian forces, though mostly through aerial drones. The use of ground-based kamikaze robots marks a significant development. Unlike aerial drones that can be shot down by small arms or electronic jamming, these low-profile ground units are harder to detect and often capable of navigating around obstacles and through trenches. This makes them ideal for breaching front lines or targeting fixed positions. The deployment of kamikaze UGVs also coincides with recent developments on the front lines. In early 2025, Ukraine reported renewed Russian offensives in the eastern Donbas region, particularly around Bakhmut and Avdiivka. Russian forces have been employing saturation tactics, flooding specific front sectors with drones, artillery, and now UGVs to wear down Ukrainian defenses. These tactics appear aimed at exploiting weaknesses before Western military aid can be fully restocked and integrated. Western officials have raised alarms in recent months over the slow pace of aid deliveries to Ukraine. The U.S. Congress passed a long-delayed $60 billion aid package earlier this year, but logistical bottlenecks and political hesitation have slowed the flow of critical weapon systems. In the meantime, Russia has taken advantage of the gap by ramping up domestic military production and integrating more technology into its war machine. This explains the timing behind the UGV deployment and the government's official support. Russia's domestic arms industry, largely insulated from sanctions through black market networks and support from allies like Iran and North Korea, has begun rolling out experimental systems to gain the upper hand. Unlike traditional weapons that take years to field test, these ground robots are being trialed directly in combat, learning and adapting in real time. Ukraine, for its part, has also been experimenting with ground-based drones. Ukrainian engineers have modified commercial platforms for use in surveillance, supply delivery, and even attack missions. However, Russia's advantage lies in scale and coordination. According to Mil.dot and .ua, both sides are now investing in ground kamikaze drone technologies, but Russia appears more willing to sacrifice hardware on a larger scale. The use of kamikaze robots raises difficult ethical and strategic questions. From one perspective, removing human operators from high-risk scenarios is a tactical win, reducing casualties and extending operational reach. But on the other hand, it introduces a level of detachment that can escalate violence without accountability. If these machines can be programmed or directed autonomously, where does responsibility lie when civilian areas are targeted or missions go awry? Human Rights Watch and other observers have already sounded alarms about the lack of oversight in automated warfare. They argue that the Russia-Ukraine conflict is becoming a testing ground for autonomous weapons, and without international regulation, such systems could soon proliferate beyond state control. Russia's introduction, and now expansion, of kamikaze ground robots marks a sobering milestone in the Ukraine war. It showcases the increasing role of robotics in modern warfare, moving from supportive roles to frontline attack duties. While the effectiveness of these systems remains to be fully measured, their presence underscores how rapidly military technologies are evolving in the heat of this prolonged conflict. With the Kremlin's formal backing and the Ministry of Defense actively promoting their success, these machines are set to play an even more prominent role in future offensives. As both Ukraine and Russia double down on tech-based warfare, we may be witnessing the dawn of a new era, one in which decisions about life and death are increasingly made not by soldiers, but by software and sensors. The age of robotic combat is no longer hypothetical. It's here, it's state-sponsored, and it's rewriting the rules of war, one ground drone at a time. So that's all for today. See you in the next video.